Welcome back to week 31 in review. Now, as you might have known from last week's video, I have had a deload this week, but that doesn't mean nothing happened. So a quick life update from myself is, as some of you might be aware, if you've watched any of my videos or follow me on Instagram, I work with Train by JP, a brand that I've supported for many, many years. I started using their products in 2020. So I've been using their products now for pretty much 6 years. And last year they reached out and said, "Hey, Gary, we really like what you do supporting the brand. We'd like you to sign up to the affiliate program. Here's a discount code." And some of you, if not a lot of you, have actually been using it and really, really helping me out. The way that worked was I would get commission on each sale that you do, and then at the end of the month they would give me a sum based on the commission, which is fantastic. Now that has been progressing month on month because more of you guys have been supporting me and supporting Train by JP, the brand, which has been fantastic. This week, just gone, they reached out on Thursday and received an email from Riley, who is one of the affiliate managers there, saying, "Hey, we really like what you're doing. We're really liking how you're progressing. We'd like to progress you on the path to becoming a Train by JP athlete." Now, I've been very, very careful with my wording in the past because I don't want people to think that I'm on the same level of the likes of Kuba, as Nath Styles, as Sas Harati. I'm not on that level. However, I do work with them, and this is the way to get my own progress and make myself in that group of the elite, which is phenomenal. The fact that they've noticed me, I am so thankful for, and the fact that you guys have been supporting me, I'm incredibly grateful for. So that's a bit from me. It's been some big news. Now, brands nowadays there's a lot of them. There's a lot of companies that reach out. Even me, I have less than 1,000 followers on social media at the moment, and I have brands reaching out week to week going, "Hey Gary, we like what you're doing." I think it's down to the frequency of posting, and it's the content that I am posting. Maybe that's noticing me. But there's lots of little brands that I'm like, I don't know your product. I look at their website. I don't really trust what they do. I've trusted JP for a very long time. So when they came my way, there was no hesitation. I mean, the first thing I did, to be honest, was message my coach, Nath, and say, "Is this real?" Like, it felt very impostery from myself. It felt like someone was having me on because you never really believe things like that happen. So the fact that it's even progressing from there has been genuinely a bit of a surreal moment for me, and it's something that I plan on really taking advantage of, in the sense, like, they've given me an opportunity to progress. As you might know from my whole YouTube channel that I've done now, I am obsessed with progression. I love progression. I love, how can I make this better? How can I do more? So this has given me a great opportunity to understand the progression in that and really share and showcase their products in a light that not only benefits them and myself and you guys, because I can give a little bit more. I've always been able to, it's not a can, but being able to give a little bit more detail and frequency to what their products do, and I get a little bit of payback by that. So I'm really, really excited about this news. Might not sound like it in my voice because I'm trying to keep myself cool and calm and collected on the YouTubes, but it's really surreal for me. It's something that I've thought about for years. Back in the day when I first started bodybuilding, I would watch Kai Green with his dynamic muscle. Even before then was his muscle meds and all of the things that they did round the supplement businesses. I was like, wow, imagine if I got that when Rich Piana started at 5%, rest in peace. All of those sorts of things. I thought, wow, I'd love to work with a brand like that. And the fact that it's kind of coming to become something like that, I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch, as they say, but it's really, really exciting for someone that is, you know, I've not really done anything dramatic in bodybuilding. I've not won a show, you know, I've not had a client win a show, but I feel like I've presented myself well. And if anyone out there maybe is looking to kind of start on their journey, is a piece of advice that I kind of gleaned from working with Nath for all these years. Nath, if for those of you who don't know, you probably do. He's a giant of a human being. 6'4", I think he was 300 pounds on stage. You know, massive, massive human. But the first thing anyone mentions about him isn't, "Hey, he's huge, isn't he?" Everyone just says, "Oh, he's a lovely guy." And that always stuck with me, that actually it's not the structure of your physique as much in this industry. It's who you are as a person and how you present yourself, how you hold yourself, what standards do you hold yourself to. They're what matter. And this is what I try and do with not only this content, but just general people in the gym. So, bit of a life update from me. Getting on to the video then. I've not done a check-in this week because Nath was on holiday, and I wanted to give him. He said, "Look, if we're on holiday, if you're on off season, things aren't going to change dramatically. Let me know if something mad happens." But nothing mad happened with me. I was on a deload anyway, so I just gave myself a little bit of extra sleep, which overall led to some progress. So let's get into the check-in form because we don't have pictures to look at this week. Let's get into the check-in form and have a look. And thank you again for allowing me this opportunity, and by continuously using my code on all the various sources. So we've got Trained by JP, Chroma Peptides as well. If you don't know, all the links are in the description. There's GymPin as well, which I'm affiliated with. And I'm, again, just very, very grateful to be in this position. And I couldn't have done it without everyone that's watching. I want to interrupt this video just to talk to you about supplements. As a competitive bodybuilder, my performance, my recovery, and my health are all super important in my life. This is why I have been using Trained by JP supplements for the last 5 years now. They cover everything from your pre, intra, and post-workout nutrition. They also offer health and joint supplementation. They also offer a nice stack and save option, which means that you don't have to think about which individual products you need. They're all there in a bundle package for you with a discount. If you click the link in the description below and use the code GPS10 at checkout, you'll get a 10% off your order. Now back to the video. Let's look at the timeline then, the tracker tab of what's happened this week. So we spoke last week about the body being inflamed. As you can see here on the Friday, it was 223. I typically go up over the weekends at the moment just because my days are a bit shorter and I'm able to get to bed earlier, not necessarily space the meals out as much, and just be able to recover a little bit better. So we averaged on the week this week until Saturday of an average of 223.4. It spiked up on Saturday. I'm not sure why. I did train legs on Friday, so maybe I took it a little bit too much. I don't feel like I did, but it has been really hot, so water retention is there as well, something for you guys to keep in mind. And then on Saturday, it was my friend's stag do. We basically persuaded him to have some form of stag do. He didn't want anything, but he's an avid Pokemon card collector, so we went to a card show. So hence the 13 and close to 14,000 steps. We left at 9 a.m, came back at 6. We then went to a nice steakhouse, and this is something that I wanted to talk about as well. I've mentioned in the past that whenever I eat off plan, my body weight just goes nuts, and it's very unpredictable. Now, if we look, I lost weight here, maintained, went up 2 pounds, which was a bit of a bigger jump. I went up a pound after yesterday. Now I will run through what I had. I had lamb hearts to start. Now I'm big on organs. I love them. They taste, for me, I really like bitter coffee. I like bitter flavors. So for me, that's something that's like a real treat. And if you do like it, it's fantastic for your body too. If you think that all of the, especially things like liver, they have properties that will help your liver in general. Like it just helps repair and flush through, because you're getting all the nutrients that were in the liver of that animal and pushing it through. So it's always something good to pick up on a menu, if you're just for your health, and if you do like the flavor, then it's something good. We had a 500 gram or 18-ounce T-bone steak, which was cooked phenomenally. There wasn't, to be honest, the only thing I was disappointed with was there wasn't any veg. Usually some veg comes with it, but they was like, oh, you can get an extra side of this. I was like, well, I don't want too much, but none came with it, so I wish I'd paid extra. And I had some fries with that, which again were a bit meh. I should have had like chunky chips, but doesn't really matter. Then I had a rhubarb cheesecake to finish. Just to be honest, this is going to sound really bizarre, and it's not usually like me, but I could feel myself going a little bit hypo a couple of times yesterday. So whether it was just the excess carbs that I had in there, but I didn't really have more carbs. I don't even think I had enough. To be honest, maybe the fries just weren't enough for what I would usually be eating in a meal. I don't know. Again, this is new territory to me, so I'm literally just guessing. So I had that at the end, and then I had my last meal when I got home, which was my Train by JP Oats So Creamy. Had that when I got back, and lo and behold, I only put on a pound. Sleep wasn't great. Now we did get back. My last meal was, I believe it's like 9, half 9. And because it had just been such an intense day, I needed to sit down and just chill out a little bit. So I read a little bit in bed. I'm reading a book called Mistborn at the moment, which is a bit fantasy. It's all to do with like magic and things. I do like that side of things. I like reading non-fiction and then having a fiction book on the go, and it's pretty good so far. I got it recommended by someone. So if anyone likes reading, then that would be something that I would recommend so far. But I think I'm only on chapter 6 or 7. So yeah, it's just a good way to switch off at the end of the day. I've got my Kindle. I turn the blue light blocker mode on and all of that stuff, and just read in bed. And it's really, really helped me with my sleep. You can see this week that my HRV did go up. We had one day here where it wasn't so great. I don't know why. Like, maybe I just didn't sleep so well. Maybe I got too much sleep that day. I honestly couldn't tell you, but I've just kind of let my body just rest and listen to it. Actually, it seems to be kind of a thing on Fridays. My HRV isn't the best. So that's something to keep an eye on. Maybe I need to improve my recovery capabilities on a Friday, or maybe it's just because it's got to the end of the week. But I haven't actually done my blood pressure this week, because where it elevated last week, I was like, I just need to not stress myself by doing it and it being elevated, because when you're stressed, your blood pressure will elevate. So I just let it settle, let it chill, manage my caffeine. Whenever my blood pressure goes up, it's typically down to caffeine. So I've been tracking that again in high coffee and just been going from there. And blood glucose has been in a pretty good spot. It was slightly elevated at the beginning of the week, but again, that would probably be down to just my body just being a bit pissed off. So there's that. The only other change really that we had last week is no cardio was in. Funnily enough, it's quite interesting. So I used the Bevel Health app to kind of collate the data from the Apple Watch. On the Apple Watch, it has all the metrics, which are fine, and I've been using them for a few years. But I felt like it just didn't collate very well to how I was feeling. So sometimes it would come back with like a sleep score of like 99, and my sleep had been crap that night. And I'm like, well, I'm just not going to listen to it. And I was like, well, there must be a better way. And the Bevel Health app has seemed to be a lot closer. Today it gave me a sleep score, I think, of like 60 something, which makes sense because my sleep was good, but it was very short. Like I get up at 4, so maybe I had 5.5 hours sleep today. I don't feel that way. I don't feel like I needed more because it wasn't a struggle to get up, but it's still based on the time that you go to sleep as well. So those metrics would have brought it down. But going back to my point, is it was saying my cardio is diminishing. Now, when it came to legs on Friday, I could feel that a little bit. I didn't notice it. I didn't notice the app telling me that until afterwards. I just had a quick look through, And it was like, oh yeah, your cardio's going down. I was like, right, okay, I need to get back on that next week, and just make sure that I'm doing this, because it does have an effect. Just 1 week off of not doing cardio has already seen my cardio going down. So super important, super important. I was really out of breath after the deload hack squat set, so that was really interesting. The other change that I made is switching the L-carnitine to Twin Amino from Engineered Muscle. Now, Engineered Muscle are a fantastic brand. They do a lot of different things. Now, the reason why I've changed, first of all, L-carnitine 500 mg per mil is around 60 to 70 pounds. Twin Amino was 45 pounds, and it has 200 milligrams of L-carnitine and 200 milligrams of choline in it. The choline helps with brain health, and I've read some research on L-carnitine actually blunting the T4 to T3 conversion, which is something I've always struggled with. Everything else is usually in range, and I supplement T4 as well, as you can see here. And I'm wondering whether just pulling that down might make my thyroid a little bit better. So I'm going to mention that to Nath when he comes back. It's probably something he's going to be like, mate, it's probably nothing, but it's just something I wanted to play with. And because it was literally half the price, I'm like, well, why not? So going to give that a go, see how I get on with that. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. That's it for this week. Really excited about the update. And if you've got any comments below of what you'd like to see, please let me know, and we can look at getting those sorted for you. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. I'm getting very close to 1,000 followers. When I do, I will be giving away 1 month's free coaching, so keep an eye out for that. And I think there might be some news coming up in the future, but I don't want to say anything just yet because I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch. So thank you again, and I'll speak to you guys next week.